Welcome back, everybody, to another Pittsburgh Pirates franchise video. Today, we are going to kick it into high gear and advance well into Season 2. We're going to begin today at 27-17 with a series versus the Tigers, who are floating around 500, and we win 6-1 in Game 1, Mitch Keller getting the victory. We put together 11 hits, and we had 5 guys get 2 multi-hit games. And Luis Arraez actually went yard today, and that's really nice to see because Arraez, as we know, is a contact specialist, so any power he can provide is just icing on the cake at this point. Mitch Keller picks up his second win of the year, and it's a really good one. 7 1/3 with only 1 earned run, 6 hits, and then Clevenger will finish off the game. Not a save situation, so no save there. I want to start and take a look here at Paul Skeens as we are looking at the All-Star voting. He is up there. Hunter Harvey and Garrett Clevenger are both up there for relievers for National League All-Star consideration. And I thought it would be a good time to check in here as we are still a while away from the All-Star break, that is. Ryan Kerkering right now holding down the top relief pitcher slot. But I like seeing both of our guys right there behind him. Under catcher, we do have votes for Joey Bart, 208,000, so he's not very far behind the running here, behind some really big names. There's a lot of notoriety there behind the dish. For shortstop, Sung-Chae Chang is actually on this list with 68,000 votes, and he's a far cry away from being anywhere near like a real consideration, but guys like Orlando Arcia are on this list, and he's only got 10 at-bats right now, but got 53,000 votes. Make it make sense. We move then to center field, and we've got O'Neal Cruz as the leader for the All-Star votes right now over in the outfield, and that is really, really cool. All right, let's get back to it. Game 2, it's Paul Skeens versus Jack Flaherty, and we will take a loss today, 4-8, as the Tigers bounce back and redeem that Game 1 loss. Here on the box score, we went 3 for 5 with Brian Reynolds, 2 for 4 with Spencer Horwitz, and Spencer and O'Neal Cruz both got home runs. Paul Skeens had a tough day today, Skeens that is. 4 earned runs, and then Caleb Ferguson also got shelled, but Harvey and Strzelecki will close it cleanly. All right, so I'm going to switch scouting here. We're going to try to discover somebody from the infield in the international region with Terrence Whitaker. And so we'll see if we can pick up anybody that no other teams might have eyes on. I don't know. But we're also going to start doing some position searches there for starting pitcher in both international and central regions. We try to see who wins the series now, and it's Shane Baz versus Matt Manning, and Detroit will end up taking it 2-1, and as we lose Game 3, 3-6. We're in an interesting spot, I think, right now in this year. We're 28-19, and as we get closer and closer, and wow, what a situation here for Spencer Horwitz with the bases loaded. Yeah, we got to step in first. So I'll finish my thought here in a second about the interesting part of the season that we're in. We're about a third, maybe a quarter of the way through, somewhere around there. And we're now 3-0 against Spencer Horwitz as the discipline is paying off. And maybe I'll wait to finish that thought. Let's get this at-bat out of the way. Spencer Horwitz will hit that to third. They throw it the short way to second, and Cleveland secures the victory. So what I mean is that we're at the point in the year to where we are getting closer to determining the trajectory of Season 2. I had said at the start of it that I wanted to know what kind of an identity we had in this Year 2 season, and it's going to be interesting because we didn't make a whole lot of moves, I don't feel like, in Season 1. In Season 2, we've made even less so far, but we've been having good success. We're going to step in again, with Spencer Horwitz, and he'll immediately crack that to left field, and it goes rather deep, but maybe not enough to advance that runner. Let's go ahead and hold him. Hindsight, he probably could have made that, but that's okay. Joey Bart now at the plate, 0-2. My goodness, I can't speak. Swinging at the slider in the dirt, and Bart, wow, never mind, it pulls him off the bag. Okay, 2 outs and 2 men on now off of the defensive error. Evan Carter now 0-4 today as we seek something notable from him. And he'll line drive that to center, and that is another Cleveland victory. 2 in a row now for the Guardians as we drop it. So When our draft picks start developing as Season 2 sees improvements to the players that we've had, we start to build a better core. And the reason that this is a core or focal point of the year right now, the spot that we're at, another great start by Keller, love to see that, is that we need to decide, okay, are we actually making a playoff run right now? Is it within grasp, within reach, within reason? And I think that at 29 and 21, we're right on the cusp of being able to call that pretty definitively. And I'll let Holderman, I think, go ahead and finish this out and see if he'll do it. We are ahead of the Giants 2-1, top of the ninth with one out, and he does it. So we take the victory there. Nice way to bounce back after the losses from Cleveland. And that's a 2-1 victory for Game 1, and now Shane Baz versus Jordan Hicks for Game 2. Before we get there, I wanted to double check, and yeah, we're 30 and 21 now, and we are 3.5 games behind the Brewers, still trying to play catch-up. So let's continue the series versus the Giants and see where else we can go here this week, and that is a 3-5 loss. Hunter Harvey actually slotted with that loss, and it's his first one of the year. ERA still at 1.29, though. On the scouted, discovered players that we have, Alonso Mateo is here, and he looks pretty good for contact, vision, and discipline, fielding. Jose Molina, maybe not quite as much, a little more on the defensive side, but nothing really to be excited there. And then we have Darrell Lara, or Lara, I'm not sure how to say it, from the Netherlands, though, but I'll say Darrell. The single R makes me think it's not Daryl, I'm not sure. Now we are 4.5 games back behind the Brewers, as they are 35 and 18, streaking 7 and 3 in their last 10. So moving forward here in the short term for this episode and probably the next, we're going to be making some decisions, I think, on some of these guys that we've been watching, and we'll put them under a little bit closer of a microscope. Right now, Sung-Chae Chang is averaging 217, and that's really bad. Gonzalez at 181 is even worse, but he's not an everyday player. He's a utility guy off of the bench, and I've been satisfied with what he's been able to do more often than not, despite that low average. Fantastic start here by Jared Jones for his 4th win of the year, and Holderman gets save 13. So there's a few guys on my mind. We've got Mitch Keller, we've got Sung-Chae Chang, Key Brian Hayes, and Nick Gonzalez. I think all of them need to really start showing me something, because if we are going to make a push for the playoffs, we need to make sure that we've got guys that are performing well. And to have, 3, 4, even 5 guys that we're worried about that we don't feel like we can depend on, that makes it feel a little too rocky for me, and I'd like to have some more confidence. Peter Sturzelecki is one of those guys that I feel like could fit into that conversation as well. He has not been as reliable or as consistent as I would like, and he will nail the outside edge right there, so that's pretty cool. Okay. Bases loaded, though, in the bottom of the 8th, and there we go. Chang to second. Gonzalez with a jump throw off of the bag, and that is a beautiful double play. Wow, really, really athletic. And just as I said he needs to show me something, there he goes, flying in the air to deliver that double play, and the Pirates end up taking the victory here against the Toronto Blue Jays. So that's a series win. Let's see if we can go for the sweep with Paul Skeens against Ranger Suarez. And Game 3 does go our way. 2-0. We shut them out. That is awesome. All right, moving forward into the series versus the Seattle Mariners. Like I said, it's going to be coming very quick here in the next few episodes. Another save situation for Colin Holderman. We have a 1-run lead going into the bottom of the 9th with 1 man on. And Holderman we trust. Get it done. And he sure does. The Pirates defeat the Mariners 5-4. And that's a great way to start that series. So off of the sweep, we then take Game 1, and we are 1.5 games back now, 7-3 in our last 10 as we're getting closer to the Brewers. Here's another critical situation, top of the 9th, this time with Sung-Chae Chang. And I've spoken before about being happy with Sung-Chae Chang at shortstop. I know he's young, he was rather unproven, and I took a chance placing him in the lineup every day, but I felt like with his overall that the time to prove that he's ready was now. And by and large, I do feel like he's done that, although he's got a lot more to go as far as being a very successful MLB player, averaging 220 off of an 0-for-4 day today. Jared Jones gets absolutely obliterated with 7 earned runs, but Fulmer and Sturzelecki nail the ending of the game without any earned runs, so that was pretty good, pretty nice. DJ Stewart has a fractured shin, I almost said chin, and he'll be out in 1 to 2 months, so we'll just add him to the 60-day, and we do win against Seattle 4-1. So that's a series victory, and then it's right back against Detroit. Here we go. They are 29-31 now as we meet again, and the last time that we saw them for Game 1, it was Mitch Keller versus Tarek Skubal, and I think that's the same matchup. Yes, it sure is. Mitch Keller and Skubal once again. All right, Keller's got his ERA at 5.18. Critical situation, bottom of the 9th for Ke'Bryan Hayes, though. Hayes is another one. He's averaging 225 right now with a 6.40 OPS. That is just really, really low, and I love what he does for us defensively. But if I don't have a third baseman that can play offense, we're really, really going to struggle. Let's go ahead and send Carter to second with 90-something speed. And yeah, he'll make that. I think that's stolen base number 4. Yes, it is. But anyways, Ke'Bryan Hayes has really got to step up to the plate, pun intended, and get his offense going because we need that bat. And he will get a dribbler into right field. Carter's got the speed to get home, and we do tie it here in the bottom of the 9th. There we go. Hayes will get an RBI, and he's pumped up, and I'm happy for him as well. Nothing I want more than these guys to succeed. If I didn't have to make any trades or acquisitions, and Bart will strike out, and we could be successful just, better each year, then I would love to ride that roller coaster and just, have the trajectory take us there. But that's unfortunately just not how it works in reality. You have to tinker. You have to give guys time to succeed or fail, and when they do fail, you need to, be strong enough to call it. Try to close this game out, and there we go. Horwitz with a 2 RBI home run will get us the victory. All right, so let's see. Ke'Bryan Hayes down to 228 for his average. Luis Ariz is at a 252, which is lower than I'd like, but he's still able to contribute up there. Keller has a fantastic game. I'm loving seeing that because as soon as I'm putting the microscope on these guys, some of them end up doing really well. So it's almost like a knock on wood situation. They're like, oh crap, someone's watching. Let me do better. Paul Skeens in Game 2 will not get the victory. We lose 0-1. All right, let's try to take the series at least with Shane Baz. And nope, that's a 1-4 loss. Even worse. So 1-for-3 against Detroit in this series, and they've taken 2 against us in short order. Now the Colorado Rockies are in town, and we host them and win 5-1 in Game 1. Jared Jones gets the victory there. In Game 2, Zach Littell gets the start against Carson Palmquist. And critical situation here, and another one for Sung-Chae Chang. Let's step in on Check on the Kid. Step in and check on the kid is what I meant to say there. I don't know what's been going on with me for the past few videos, but I sincerely apologize for getting tongue-twisted and kind of losing my words here. I'm not sure what's been going on. Maybe I've just got too much happening, and I'm trying to fit these videos in as quick as I can and keep the solid pace. But no excuses. I need to be better, and I'm going to try to be. Sung-Chae Chang will pop out there to shortstop. And now it's a full count for Luis Ariz with 2 out in the bottom of the 9th, our last chance against Dustin May and the Rockies, and that's in the dirt. So that's going to be a walk for Luis Ariz. There we go. We've got 2 men on now, the tying run in scoring position, and it's Brian Reynolds at the plate. 1-for-3 today. May delivering. And that is hit gently into right field shallow, and the Colorado Rockies will close this game out against us and take the victory. All right, back to scouting just briefly. We are in week 10 of 14, and this is going to be the strategy, and I wanted to point it out. We're going to go very pitcher-heavy in this draft class because I feel like if we can solidify our rotation, our relievers, and maybe start working on a stud closer in the pipeline, something, if we've got some guys down there that we can get, I would really, really like to not worry about the pitching staff for the next year, 2, 3 years, or whatever, and then we can focus almost purely on position players. We do take the series against Colorado, winning 2 out of 3 games, and here we go. Ke'Bryan Hayes, 2 for 4 today. Very nice. And yeah, Sung-Chae Chang is not in the lineup. It's Gonzalez, and he goes 3 for 5 to bring his average up to 215. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Mitch Keller gets win number 4 off of 3 earned runs in 6 2/3 innings. Harvey lets through an earned run, and Ferguson is clean. Now a series against Tampa Bay as they come into town, and Paul Skeens gets the start. It's the bottom of the 10th for Evan Carter. 0-0. Let's go ahead and let the boys sort it out. And we do win 2-1 against the Rays as they go down swinging here in game 1. That's a nice victory. I like those low-scoring games a lot. It, for me, means both teams are competitive, and I would prefer that to the major blowout. Those are fun, of course, but it's more of like a, watching a car wreck happen or, just a circus of like embarrassment for one team. And I would prefer to see good baseball on both sides and have one team come out triumphant rather than just stomp the other team. Shane Baz picks up loss number 6 off of 3 earned runs there against Tampa Bay, and Jared Jones gets to start in game 3, and that is another loss. But first, Jace Bowen dislocates his ankle, and he'll be out for over 6 months. So he is toast for the full year. Wow. All right, we'll start by adding him to the 60-day injured list, and we'll move on there. We get shut out 6-0 in game 3. Really, really tough. Only 4 hits for the guys, 3 walks, and 8 strikeouts. So offensively, we really couldn't do anything against their pitching. And on our pitching side, Jared Jones let through 4 earned runs over 4 innings. Hunter Harvey, in a rare occasion, gives up 2 earned runs. And then Strzelecki and Bednar have 3 clean innings of relief between them. All right, so Jared Jones was one that I was worried about at the start of the year. He's up to an 85 now and seeing some decent progression in his attributes. And right now, over 80 innings pitched, he's at a 3.92 ERA, only 8 home runs given up, 71 strikeouts. I think that we can say Jared Jones is probably not one that we're going to worry about anymore. He's gotten 8 quality starts so far this year, and he's up to a 1.4 WAR. So I think he's firmly in the probably trust territory. Mitch Keller still definitely is worrying me. And here, moving on against the Cincinnati Reds, we lose game 1, 2-5. Mitch Keller, here he is now, and nope, there's an injury first. Malcolm Nunez will strain his tricep and out for a day or 2. Those are no problem. And we do take the victory. Mitch Keller gets win number 5 on the year, and it's a 4-2 win. That's pretty cool. Paul Skeens against Rhett Lauder, the young rookie there. In game 3, well, Malcolm Nunez first. Get out of the way so I can see what happened. Nope, we lose 1-2. Now, it is a 4-game series, but that's 2 out of 3 down already, and I don't really like that. And now there's some more space building between us and the Brewers. Okay, come on, let's win game 4. Nope, we get shut out 3-0, and Shane Baz takes the L again. I do feel like the offense is letting him down. He's got a pretty low ERA still, but it just seems like when the offense decides to not really play, it's always on a Shane Baz start. It's just the impression, I guess. But, wow, a 2-12 loss in Game 2 versus Minnesota. Sung-Chae Chang's average is at a 2.02 now. Key Brian Hayes, after an 0 for 4 days, at 2.18. Man, Evan Carter's also struggling at a 2.19 average. It's really tough to see, but he's had some nice moments through some of the critical situations that we've seen. Zach Littell gets absolutely demolished. 5 earned runs over 1 2/3 innings. Carson Fulmer and Strzelecki don't really fare much better. So, yeah, blowout. Let's write that one off. And then a shutout in Game 3. Okay, so June just might not be our month of baseball. This has had some really, really bad losses and some really bad performances on the pitching staff as well, but the offense is basically disappeared. Mitch Keller lets through 5, and that is loss number 6. Clevenger and Ferguson, we rely on to close it down, and they do just fine. And here's what Mitch Keller has been doing lately. 82 innings pitched. He's got 15 starts, 6 losses, and where is it at? He's a 0.4 WAR player. Despite quality starts, he's got 8 of them. So Mitch Keller right now is almost a non-factor in this pitching rotation despite the quality starts. This might be another case of like the offense needs to help him more, and I'm sure that would help, but Keller has got to do better about letting in all these runs. What about Bednar? Bednar has been really, really good all year, and I feel like he's overperforming right now, and we're in a situation here against the Cubs with the bases loaded. Carson Kelly at the plate, averaging 0.83. That looks good for us. Bednar delivering the 1-2, and we got him. The curveball at the bottom of the zone will get Kelly to swing around, and he's toast. All right, let's go ahead and let them sort the rest of this game out. And nope. They're giving us a situation with Colin Holderman now with men on the corners. Let's step in there. Holderman has been exceptional this year, and I've been really happy. And, oh, man, the Cubs squeeze a bunt. Dansby Swanson, and he will get the RBI. We throw home to try to prevent that run coming in, but they nail it to perfection, and it's now a tie game against the Chicago Cubs. And then that's a line drive by Carson Kelly, and they're going to score another one there, as Holderman has not only blown the save, but blown the lead. And now we've got to try to walk it off or tie it in the bottom of the ninth, but first we need to get through this without giving up any more runs. We get the cutter on the outer edge to get ahead 0-2 against Pete Crow Armstrong. He's not been reliable for Chicago in scoring position chances, and he will ground out to Horowitz, who will step on the bag first. I think I tried to, grab the ball, and I don't know, maybe something with how I moved the stick, but it went to first instead of throwing to second, in that order. So that's unfortunate. And we're going to go to the bottom of the ninth now with a deficit. It's 4-3, Jared Triolo at the plate. The count is 2-2 against Josh Hader, who I'm not happy to see with Chicago right now, although they've been struggling massively, so maybe I'd rather Hader be on that team on second thought, and they can kind of waste his talent away at the bottom of the division. Sawinski swinging under the zone, and he'll be thrown out and strikeout there, so bottom of the ninth with 2 outs for Ke'Bryan Hayes. Here we go. Averaging .213, 0 for 3 today. We really need something to happen. And he does. It's a perfect shot into left field. A line drive. It bounces off the wall. Hayes will turn for 2. 38 speed. He's going to huff it all the way there, and the throw is offline. And we've got a 2-out double. Hayes keeps us alive. Very nice. I am going to sub, though, Sung-Chae Chang, just because he's got a lot more speed than Hayes. So we'll put him on second. All right, tying run in scoring position for O'Neal Cruz. This is definitely a guy that you want in the situation. However, he will just ground that weakly over to second, and Chicago secures the victory. We're not at Wrigley, so they're not going to play the song, but here at PNC Park, we're going to walk home with our heads held a little bit lower. Game 2, we're going to see Shane Baz versus Shota Imanaga, and that is a 5-1 victory. There we go. Good way to bounce back. The Cubs are 32-45, so I don't feel like they're a divisional threat right now, but it's still, you want to win as many games as you can, as many series, and interdivision-wise, you especially want to put a target on those games. Brian Reynolds with a home run today, as we had quite a few hits from the guys. Shane Baz gets his 4th win off of 7 great innings with no earned runs. Clevenger allowing the only one through his inning of relief. But the Brewers still maintaining a 6.5 game lead now ahead of us, as they have done very well in their last 10, and we, unfortunately, have not. So with us trailing behind the Brewers and the division might be starting to slip away, I want to check on the wild card, and yeah, we are there. So this is the time. We're 43-34. We're just about at the halfway point, almost to the game of this year. And as we approach the All-Star break, we also approach the trade deadline. And like I said, I kind of forewarned it. We are going to be looking at making some trades, I think, because this tells me that we're a lot further along in year 2 than I expected us to be. And we need to make a push, and we need to really start thinking about some of the roles that these guys carry within this organization. So let's see who is on the trading block. I'm looking for somebody that'd be able to help us right now. I don't want to pick up another prospect in this area, and I know we've got guys in the pipeline, but I think somebody at the MLB level is the appropriate trade now. And I'm looking at Andrew Abbott from the Cincinnati Reds. I know it's a division rival, so this trade may never happen, but statistically right now, he's 26, a 79 overall. He's doing okay with an over 4 ERA, but he's got a really team-friendly contract with no options used right now, and I think that the play is to trade Mitch Keller. And this might be quite controversial for some Pirates fans, but I think Keller being a few years older, they both have B potential, and Keller's only 3 overall points ahead of him. It helps us with contracts, it gives us more control, and it gives us a little bit more room to grow. Because Andrew Abbott should be able to hit 82 where Mitch Keller is right now, probably by the end of the year or early next year, and he's got more years to use that rating. So I think this trade works for us, and it gives maybe the Reds somebody else that could turn it around. Keller's not having a great season this year. In fact, it's a career worst season for him, but maybe he'll do better over with the Reds. So this is what our rotation looks like. It's Skeens, Boz, Jones, Littell, and now Andrew Abbott. So a 4.5 ERA is really not that impressive, but I do believe that he's on a cold streak and he will get better. And because of his age and overall and all of that good stuff, I do think that that's an upgrade for us. And we'll go ahead and win Game 3 against Chicago to take that series. And I do want to take a look at Abbott for his next start. We're going to hop in and do a player lock. But first, we've got to get through here this game with the Cardinals. And it's key Brian Hayes at the plate. We'll just let him do it, I think, right now. We're down by 2. And yeah, the Cardinals go ahead and seal the deal there, so they win Game 1. And there it is. Andrew Abbott scheduled to pitch and make his Pittsburgh Pirates debut. Let's go ahead and choose to play this game. And we're going to do the player lock with him. I'll let everybody else play their own games. But I do want to see how it feels to pitch with Andrew Abbott and how he fares under the pressure. So let's go ahead and get into this one. I can't wait. All right, here we go. Top of the first against Lars Nootbaar, averaging just under 300. Abbott delivering, and that sweeper will get Nootbaar swinging for the first out of the game, and it's a good one, a strikeout. Now 0-1 against Brendan Donovan, who is just over 300. That's gently hit over to second base, and we've got out number 2. A pretty quick order here for Abbott. 1-2 against Ivan Herrera, and this is pitch number 10. And we got him. Circle change. Nails the bottom edge of the zone. It just floats right in there. And that's a great first inning debut for Abbott. Now we need the offense to support him. Good start. Let's see where it goes. Full count now to Nolan Arenado, who's averaging 267. And he will bring that to right field for Carter, who will be able to snag that right before the warning track. A long out number 1, and now Peguero. And he lifts that to left field. Barely has to move, though, and that's out number 2. Really happy to see that. The contact is going to be important because I don't think Abbott is a very, very notorious break guy. I know he's got some pretty good stuff, but he's not, I don't think, a strikeout artist. So I know there's going to be a lot of contact with him as long as we can keep it in the park. And wow, now we're up 5-0. There's the offense that we needed. Hello. And we're going to strike out Ryan Ward. Meantime, while I am mystified by the scoreboard here, 5-0 in the top of the third is a tremendous lead that we have just gifted Andrew Abbott for his debut. And we will get out number 1 in the top of the third and move on to Jude Masters, hovering around that 218 mark. Hits that well, and the leap at second will not be able to grab that out of the air. 91 speed now on first base with only 1 out. And it's 0-2 against Charles LeBlanc. And we get him to go around on that circle change. That's another strikeout for Abbott, and that is number 3. All right, now Nootbaar. Runner is going. Nootbaar lifts that to left. It is shallow, and we were able to snag it and strand that base runner. All right, top of the fourth now. It's 1-2 against Brendan Donovan. And, whoa, Abbott spears it. He jumps up out of the air, kind of a statue pose there. And, wow, that's a comeback at him right there, out number 1. Ivan Herrera. Then we'll lift that to left field, and that will bloop down and find some real estate and some grass to land on. And so they've got a 1-out base runner. Nolan Arenado back at the plate. 10-time Gold Glove winner. And he will strike out on the sweeper. Abbott bounces back and gets a critical out number 2. Peguero now at the plate, and he hits that well. Goes over first base, and that is going to be a line drive, 2-out single. 2 men on now as St. Louis seeks to bounce back. And Walker chases the curveball on the outside edge of the zone, and Abbott is out of another one. 2 stranded. And wow, this fan's already fully embraced him. Abbott is unhittable here. It's Pittsburgh, and that is really, really fun. I like that. All right, 0-2 against Ryan Ward now in the top of the 5th. And the sweeper gets tagged into right, and it will bloop down. Those gentle hits are like so majestic as they go down. They're just nice and gentle. And the sweeper fools Masters. So Abbott once again gives up a hit and then gets a strikeout promptly afterwards to even it up. 2-2 against LeBlanc, and we nail the inside lower corner. That's another strikeout for Abbott. So 0-2 now against Lars Nootbaar. And we get him on a called curveball on the bottom side of the zone, really under the zone, I would say. And I said that he wasn't a strikeout artist, but that is 8 strikeouts for Andrew Abbott through 5 innings played, as we crushed Andre Palante and got him out of the game really quickly through 1 and only 2/3 innings. He gave up 3 earned runs, and now it's 7-0 in the top of the 6th. And Donovan will weakly ground that to Ke'Bryan Hayes, played for out number 1, and Abbott is just cruising here in his debut. This is really exciting. It's awesome when a trade immediately seems to be like, hey, yeah, that was a good idea. And that goes to right field. Carter is under it just before the foul line. 0-2 now against Arenado. And that sweeper is lifted. That's another bloop single into shallow outfield territory. And a 2-out single for Arenado. Now Peguero. He grabs that, and Ke'Bryan Hayes able to get it at third. The throw over, and we end 6 scoreless innings against new acquisition Andrew Abbott. Only 5 hits allowed total. The Pirates are cruising to a victory here if we can keep it tight. Jordan Walker 0-2. Got him. He could not hold back, and Andrew Abbott has another strikeout. 1-2 now against Ryan Ward in the top of the 7th. And we will get him as well. The sweeper away, and we are just mowing these guys down with Abbott. That's strikeout number 10. Double digits here in his debut, and it could not be looking better for him. Jude Masters, deep to right field. Carter giving chase, and he's got it. 7 scoreless innings for Abbott now. This has been fantastic. All right, Charles LeBlanc comes back around, and we've got Abbott in the top of the 8th, and that's another strikeout. Gosh, man. That is number 11. Abbott is looking stupendous, and it's 1-2 against Nootbaar. And we'll get him as well. A curveball, perfectly placed, just floats in there. A dozen even strikeouts now, but they are going to call it and make the change now, and they're going to go ahead and bring in Peter Sturzelecki. With so much of a lead right now, I'm okay with this move, but it was really fun with Abbott while it lasted, and we do end up closing out this game and winning. Abbott, an incredible, stunning debut, and so satisfying immediately after that trade. That is awesome. All right, 7-0 is how it goes. We get 10 hits, 5 walks. Another home run from Luis Arraez. That's the second one this episode, I think. But Brian Reynolds sends 2 over the wall, and he picks up 5 RBIs today. Wow. Major contributor and won the game pretty much single-handedly. Abbott gets his 4th win of the year, 7 2/3, only 5 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 12 strikeouts. Just simply incredible, and what a great way to end this episode, I think. And we're going to leave it here. Yeah, we are 45-35, and this is going to be the end of it. But first, yeah, let's go 46. Let's go ahead and take that game against them. All right, so we're 5.5 games behind the Brewers. I want to thank you guys so much for sticking with me here. Let me know what you think of the trades and how we're doing so far, and I'll see you guys soon for the next episode.